Hello all. So welcome to Simplified Bio by Sidhu. This is your Siddesh sir, biology teacher. So in this video, let us discuss about irrigation and fertilizers, adding manures and fertilizers. So previous part we have discussed about preparation of soil as well as sowing. So how exactly the farmers prepare the soil to produce crops and how exactly they will sow the seeds and what are all the implements they will use to do all these things. That and all we have discussed. So in this video, let us discuss about what we will call adding manure. So after the continuation, the next basic agricultural part, that is what you will call irrigation as well as adding manure and fertilizers. So before going to start this session, so if you are new to our channels, please do subscribe and hit the bell icon to receive the notification. So if you have not watched the previous video, please do watch. And if you like the video, please do like, share and comment if you get any doubts. So let us clarify your doubts. So come, let us start with our session. So the next basic agricultural practices, so that is adding manures and fertilizers. So adding manures and fertilizers. Adding manures and fertilizers. So what is this manures and fertilizers? Why we should add? So if you want to grow, some nutrients are required, right? So even in the same kind, even plants also require some kind of nutrients. Okay, so the different nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, like that we have different nutrients. So which are all required for the plant growth and development, isn't it? In what way they will get? See, for example, so why we should add? You may get the question, okay, so you can ask yourself, why we should add these kind of manures and fertilizers? What are these? So what is the use of us, adding these to the soil? Isn't it? So you may get this kind of questions in your mind. So the very simple, so these are all the nutrients, so which are required for the growth of the plant, growth and development of the plant, isn't it? So if there is no nutrients in the soil, so definitely they will not grow. Hope everyone is clear. Okay, so this we are going to add into the soil to nourish them. Okay, to provide these kind of nutrients to the soil. So we are going to add into the soil in the form of manures or in the form of fertilizers. Okay, so if for example you have a continuous growth. So if you are growing any kind of what you will call crops in a particular period, means in a particular field, crop field, so what will happen? So the nutrients which are present in that particular crop field will get over, right? So it will not be there for longer time. Okay, because continuously plants are utilize that particular nutrients, and one fine day or one fine season there will be no more nutrients in that soil. So to replenish that soil, we are going to add manure and fertilizers. Okay, so a simple example, if you want to take, so you have a packet of mango pickle. So daily you are using at the time of dinner, breakfast, lunch, isn't it? So if you are using daily, so one or the other day the packet of that mango pickle will get over. Okay, so what you will do? You will replace it, or you will pour some other mango pickles into that box, isn't it? Same thing will happen here also. See, if you are growing continuously crops, so what will happen? The nutrients which are present in that soil will utilized by the crops what you are growing, and they will get over. Okay, so you are going to finish that, the plants will utilize and there will be no more nutrients in that particular soil. So if you grow in the same field, so lack of these kind of nutrients may disturb the growth and development of the plant. You will not get proper yield. So for that reason, what we have to do? So we have to replenish the soil. In what way? By adding manures and fertilizers. So what is this manure and fertilizer? So manure and fertilizers. So in simple way, these are the nutrients. The nutrients which are provided which are provided to the soil in the form of manures and fertilizers. Okay, wait. So what are all these manures and nutrients then? So manures and nutrients, so these are the substances which are added to the soil in the form of nutrients. For what? For the proper growth, and development of croplands. Okay, so this is the definition for manures and fertilizers. Okay, let us discuss later what is manure exactly, what is fertilizers exactly. First, you know the definition of manures and fertilizers together. So whatever it is, either it may be a manure or it may be a fertilizer. So these are all the substances so that we are going to add to the soil in the form of water, in the form of nutrients. In the form of nutrients, we are going to add to the manures or fertilizers. Got the point? Okay, so now what exactly meant by manure? So manure means, children, so if you have any notebook with you, please do note. So these are all very important things that you have to remember. Okay, so manure is the organic substance obtained by the decomposition of plant and animal waste. Okay, so plant and animal waste. So when you are talking about the manure, so manure is an organic thing, manure is an organic substance. So how do you obtain manure? So by the decomposition of plant as well as animal waste. Okay, so it is an organic substance which is obtained by the decomposition of plant and animal waste. Okay, so this manure is going to be prepared in open field. Okay, so it is prepared in open field. So what they will do, you might have observed in village side. So early morning the farmers used to carry the cow dung or animal dung or any plant waste so in a basket, and they will go and dump in a pit what they have made. Okay, later I will show the picture of this. So you just listen what is manure. Okay, so what they will do, they will go collect all these waste, plant and animal waste, and they will dump into the pit where they will leave for 5 to 6 months or 1 year. So later these plant and animal waste will get decomposed and it will become some soil like structure, and that is what you can call manure. Okay, and it is very useful for the plants to obtain nutrients. Okay, so the next thing is fertilizers. So fertilizers, so most of the people, we know that fertilizers means, so these are the chemical substances. These are the chemical substances so which are rich in particular plant nutrient. Okay, which are rich in particular plant nutrients, and these are prepared in where? Prepared in factories. Okay, these are all prepared in factories. Hope it is clear. Okay, so these are the chemical substances. So what kind of chemical substances? So these are inorganic chemical substances. Okay, you can add that also. These are the inorganic chemical substances, so which are rich in particular plant nutrients. What do you mean by this particular plant nutrients? So if the plant requires only nitrogen, so we will provide only nitrogen. If the plant requires only potassium, we will provide only potassium. Okay, so like that. So if the soil is deficient in any particular plant, plant nutrients, okay, so the farmer will provide only such kind of nutrients in the form of fertilizers. Got the point? So this is about the fertilizers. Hope it is clear for everyone. For example, if you take for the fertilizers, so we have example like urea. Most of the farmers usually use urea, and NPK. So you might have observed. So if any people who are from family background, so you might have observed this on the packet of fertilizer packet. Okay, you can observe that the NPK and the proportion. Okay, and the composition of this. So what extent they have, they have mixed this nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Okay, and ammonium sulfate. Okay, so superphosphate, and also potash. Okay, so these are all the inorganic chemical substances. These are all the examples for fertilizers. They contain particular plant nutrients. So okay, what they will happen so if you use this, so what will happen? So you will get more yield when compared to manure. Okay, so as they are chemical, as they are containing particular plant nutrient, if you use this, you will get more crop yield. Okay, but there is a disadvantage. So as these are the chemical, so they will, if you use excessively, the usage of excessive fertilizers, what will happen? If you use fertilizers, if you use excessive fertilizers, so this crops may get destroyed. The soil become less fertile. It will make soil less fertile. Okay, this is about the fertilizers. Okay, and one more disadvantage we have by using more and more fertilizers, they may cause what? They may cause water pollution. So how you can ask? They will cause water pollution. So if think that you are using more and more, so what you will call this fertilizers in the soil. So if the rains comes heavily and all these fertilizers are blown away with the flow away with the this what you will call fertilizers, all this will with the rain water, so they will reach the water body and they will causes the fertilizers. By consuming this fertilizers, the water animals like aquatic animals, they may die. Okay, so they will cause water pollution. Clear? Okay, so by adding and manure and fertilizers, we can enriches the soil, isn't it? So you can ask me any other way to enrich the soil. Anybody? Think yourself. Yes, we do have other kind of things like to increase the soil fertility, and they are, first one is fallow method. So very simple. Okay, fallow method. So what do you mean by this fallow method? So in this method, so we will not grow any crops for 5 to 6 years. Okay, by doing this, so what will happen? So by not growing crops, leave the field for many years. Okay, for many years what we are doing? So we are leaving the field without cultivation. This is the one method where we can enrich the soil. So by doing this, what will happen? So there is no crops to, and what you will call, to obtain these kind of nutrients. The nutrients remain same. At the same time, grazing animals, they will, or any other plants, they will decompose in the soil itself and increases the soil fertility. Okay, another method is crop rotation. So very important, you may get the question to define what do you mean by crop rotation. So what do you mean by crop rotation, children? So crop rotation is nothing but rotating the crops. Huh? No, not like that. So crop rotation in the sense, so if you are growing one kind of crop plant this season, next season you are going to change that crop. Okay, so what we are doing here, so growing different crops, in a successive season. Successive generation or successive season, you can call it as. Okay, so for example, I'll tell you how exactly the crop rotation increases the soil fertility. So this season, if you are growing, see the first season, if you are growing any leguminous plant, so what is the speciality of this leguminous plants? They contain rhizobium bacterium, isn't it? So rhizobium bacteria, isn't it? So they contain rhizobium bacteria. So what is the speciality of this? They will fix the nitrogen. They will provide nitrogen to the soil. Okay, whatever the nitrogen which is present in the soil, so all these will not utilized by this leguminous plant. Some of the nitrogen will retain in the soil itself. In the next season, if you grow any other kind of crops like like grains, if you grow any grains at that particular season, what will happen? So the nitrogen which is present here, so it will be utilized by such kind of crops. Okay, by changing the crops generation to generation or season to season, so you can also increase the soil fertility. So these are the two different types of a method, so which we can improve the soil fertility or increase the soil fertility. So you may get the question, so you are in the form of multiple choice answer. So like so which of the following is not a method to increase the soil fertility? Okay, so which of the following is not a method to increase the soil fertility? So they will give option like fallow method, crop rotation, adding manures and fertilizers, flowing. So which one is not correct one? Obviously flowing. By flowing we cannot able to increase the soil fertility. So by adding manures and fertilizers we can increase the soil fertility. By crop rotation we can increase the soil fertility. By fallow method of course we can increase the soil fertility. Okay, by flowing we cannot. Okay, we can loosen the soil but we cannot enrich the soil fertility. This kind of questions you may get in the exams. So and particularly they may ask the definition, what do you mean by crop rotation? What kind of crops will be grown in this crop rotation method? Like that you may get the questions. It is very simple if you understand. So only the thing you have to understand. Okay, clear? Okay, let us move on to the next thing. So what could be the the differences between the manures and fertilizers? So why manure is more advantageous than the fertilizers, or why we should use fertilizers? So let us discuss once fertilizers. So the first one is, as we know, it is a inorganic salt or inorganic substances, and here it is, so organic substance obtained by decomposition. Obtained by what? Decomposition. So, and this fertilizers are prepared in factories. So they are prepared in factories. So these are prepared in open field. Okay. So, and apart from that, so this will not, so they will not provide any humus to the soil. Humus to the soil. Then what about this? Of course, they will provide humus to the soil. Okay, and one more thing, very important thing is, so they are rich in particular plant nutrient. As I said earlier, so they contain particular plant nutrients. Okay, so they are less rich in particular plant nutrients. They may contain all, but not one or two nutrients. They will contain all, but they are not rich. They are less rich. Okay, particular plant nutrients. Hope it is clear for everyone. So once again, just see here. So inorganic substances, fertilizers are the inorganic substances, whereas manures are organic substances. Factories, so these are made up in factories or industries. So here it is made in open field. So this, they will provide humus to the soil. Sorry, they will not provide humus to the soil, whereas manures will provide humus to the soil. So when compared to this, means fertilizers, they are rich in, as I said, example, if you take nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, like that, so they will be having particular plant nutrients, and here they are less rich in particular plant nutrients. Okay, so as I told, manure is the good option for the farmers. So why manure is the, see, most of the people will suggest manure only instead of fertilizers. Can you think over it, why it is suggested to use by the farmers? So of course there are some advantages. So what are those advantages in the sense? So they enhances, you can write. So manure enhances the water holding capacity of the soil. So because of this we have to use manure instead of fertilizers. So water holding capacity of the soil. This is the thing, we have to use manure instead of fertilizers. And one more thing is, so as I told, they will make soil porous. They, in the sense, manure, they make soil porous so that plant can breathe easily. Okay, so this is the one. So the manures will make the soil porous, so plant can breathe very easily. And apart from that, so one more important thing is, so they will improve the soil texture. They will improve the so they will improve the soil texture. And apart from that, so the one more thing that we have is, so it increases. So apart from that, the one more thing is, it increases the growth of friendly microbes. As I told, either it may be any kind of microbes which are friendly to the farmers. So these manures will increases the growth of these kind of bacteria or in fungus or anything. Okay, so this is about the adding manures and fertilizers. Okay, so what do you mean by manures and fertilizers? So these are the substances which are added to the soil in the form of nutrients. So for manures are the organic substances, so which made in the which are obtained by the decomposition of the plant and animal waste, isn't it? So and apart from that, they are made in open field. So whereas when coming to the what do you call fertilizers? So fertilizers are the chemical substances, inorganic substances which are made in factory, and they are very rich in particular plant nutrients. Okay, so by usage of more and more chemicals fertilizers, so they may damage the crop plants and decreases the soil fertility and also causes the water pollution. Okay, so when you are talking about the advantages of manures, so of course they will enhance the water holding capacity, and they may make soil porous and increases the soil texture, and also so improves the growth of friendly microbes. Clear, children?